What's up everyone? Welcome to this new update on the price of Bitcoin. So today I will share with you my doubts. You know that generally I am rather bullish and long term I am very bullish, and I've been bullish during the whole period of the rise starting from pretty much I guess February or even January in this year. Some hope there was even from the end of December, but in any case, I was relatively bullish when the price was growing, and even in this correction I was saying that there is no reason to go down. The only one point when I started to get bearish was 30,500, where actually I kind of started to be cautious, and you can refer to one of my videos which I made there pretty much just before the drop. And now there is a second time in like recent few months when I'm becoming slightly more bearish than bullish, and here is why. Well, from the current situation, there is nothing really changed in terms of the progress of the price. We're still kind of making this triangle, which is potentially a continuation pattern to the upside because we had the growth before. But there are things which I don't like about this chart. Just today I made this one. Like you remember, we had this yellow intersection of these two channels, pink and blue one, and in fact we are trading quite a lot of time below the pink channel. In fact, you can actually draw this channel a bit in a different way. So this is a black line over here based on these two lows, and if you will make a parallel to this line, you will have another one here. But again, such an adjustment of your previous patterns, of your previous charting, is usually a kind of lying to yourself, trying to trick your own mind that okay, we are maybe going a little bit lower than I expected, but eventually everything will be fine, or vice versa, maybe we will go a little bit higher and only then the correction will start, and so on and so forth. Even now you see this intersection of these two channels with this, I don't know, yellow-orange triangle, and recently we're actually having another triangle which is gray area here, and we're kind of going lower from the previous one. So we have the decrease in terms of the highs, which means bulls are weaker, and at the same time the lows are also going lower. I mean, the relative increment in terms of making lows a bit higher is also declined. So in my opinion, it's not a very good sign. Also, if you look at the volume, for example, at the peak it was a very big volume, then it was a lower volume at this point, which should be actually quite high because of the sudden drop. There was even higher volume than here when it was at the peak again. Once more, here again, the volume is even lower than here, despite the area actually was below the previous low. Then significant decrease in volume in general, some kind of recovery, but on this recovery the volume was not as big as before. The only one hope was here, but again it wasn't that significant to call it some kind of reversal, and then we continue to see the decline in the volume. In principle, it is normal when we see the exit from the consolidation period or anticipating it, but the problem is the situation is really unclear right now. So at the moment I feel that the market is turning slightly bearish. The consolidation is neutral indeed, but the longer it lasts, the weaker the chance for the continuation of the previous trend, despite it may seem as a longer and stronger accumulation. I don't like that we constantly see the drops below $10,000, practically testing almost the same zone at the bottom of this consolidation. With the more we test the level, the more likely it will be broken, as you know. That we have lower highs with much bigger increment that for the rise of the lows, that we have much slower local rises and sharper drops, as you can see, for example, here, slow rise, sharp drop, slow rise, sharp drop, and so on, even in this area as well. I don't like that a lot of the bullish signals on indicators, including divergences, play out very weakly or remain dangling, that we didn't follow the trend on tether capitalization rises, you remember, and the fact that it becomes flat, that we didn't follow the gold and Chinese yuan drop as well. I don't like that the impact of the news from Bakkt and Binance was so weak. I had a few charts that were heading to the rise, and most of them didn't play out, or at least didn't play out yet. It all may be, of course, just an overextension of this consolidation pattern, right? But I just feel that one should be more cautious here. The whole situation is rather binary, and it's either that 9K will hold and the new rise will come, or we will go much lower. And in that case, like 21, EMA, etc. is a meme at the moment. Everyone will buy there or on a pullback from there. So we either will not go there at all, pretty much meaning that the same 9K will be the lowest point, or that will go much lower and that 7, 8K or even lower is very possible. It all will basically depend on where the longs will start to pick up. I mean, when the average profitability of dumping Bitcoin in order to buy it lower would become lower than just to start buying it again. And I don't think that it's really possible to estimate this level or targets now. Yes, again, there is a small chance that this is an overextended accumulation, and no doubt whatsoever that long-term hodlers are not selling here, and all that we see in a short-term manipulations, sideways for a few months, even very possible, and that would be a problem in my opinion, because in my view the growth is better to be continued at least with a slow pace in order to preserve momentum. And again, it would not resolve the dilemma about the exit from this accumulation. Now, on-chain is relatively bullish, yes, but I feel that it is more on a long-term indicator too. For instance, SOPR is also at the pivotal point. If we will drop below 1 and stay there, it will be a change for the trend. I mean, from the major bullish and locally neutral, maybe a little bearish, to exactly like majorly bearish. And that is the point when we are balancing at the edge. So I think it's either the best position to buy or maybe the worst one. And here's another thing. First, we expected a classical bottom reversal. I mean, in the last year, December, with volume, a huge week to the downside, etc. It didn't happen. Then we expected a long accumulation, even longer than before, partially because there was no classical bottom. It didn't happen. Then we expected a pullback from 6K resistance. It didn't happen. Then a slow growth. The same thing, it didn't happen. Then we expected corrections on the way up. Again, almost no corrections until 14K. Then we expected a fast correction, and when it started, already didn't happen. So we have like 1/3 of the previous growth period in this correction. And now we expect the same 30-40% amplitude for the correction. Will it happen or not? Market should be unpredictable, right? I mean, the trick of a longer than usual correction must be already good enough in my opinion, and the other tricks could be saved for the future. I mean, I even expected a bigger drop after the next wave of the growth, like from 17-19K, but who knows, maybe it is time to do it now. So on the one hand, if Bitcoin would be about to go down after 14K, I mean much lower than 30-40%, it would do that before already. So somebody is buying those dips, right? But on the other hand, if it is going to go up, it would be doing that already too. I mean, it wouldn't stay here for that long. You see, so it's just uncertain. And again, probably the sideways price action would more likely mean the accumulation to the upside, but I wouldn't bet my farm on it. And people will also start to buy alts expecting them to go up, as it usually happens with Bitcoin when it is not moving. So it maybe appear to be another trap in my opinion. So guys, I don't want really to discourage you or something. What I want to say is that we should be cautious and careful at this moment, and there is no practical evidence that we're like inclining to one or another side. There is no doubt that in the long term we are bullish, but we may have a continuation of the correction, and here is the point where I prefer to be neutral than buying more than I already bought at those levels, which I already did. Okay guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and for today that is it. I hope that it was useful. Thank you for watching.